Hey everyone, my name is Ben Wazuk. I'm here with my co-host Joseph, and today we are meeting with Kyle REEDSTROM, one of our good friends and big Fargo real estate investors. He's a great mentor of me and Joseph. He's got some great insight for us. Let's get into it.
Fun. Thanks for coming on today, Kyle.
Hey,
appreciate
glad
it.
to be
Joining
here,
us, man.
boys.
Yeah, we were laughing. I was telling you in the elevator they haven't had a showing on this place in a little while, and Amber calls me today and she's like, "You're not gonna believe this." I was like, "What?" She's like, "There's a showing like right after you guys are done here on this
No
condo."
way.
So she's like, "I don't know if you guys
You guys
just
gotta
requesting
clean
so
up.
many showings are like somebody saw it's getting
Hey,
seen."
there you go.
So I was like, "Oh, you never know." So she's like, "If you don't mind, like just try and be out of there by like 5." I was
Yeah.
like, "Don't worry about
We
it,
can do
Amber.
that.
We'll be back."
Yeah,
So-
shout out to the Unite condos right now.
Isn't
Yes.
it nice? Isn't it
These are
beautiful in
sweet.
here?
Straight up here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great view. Fargo having a view, rare thing.
It
I
is
know.
rare.
One of the few places actually is back looking the river. That's kind of hard to beat there. So
Mm-hmm.
we are stoked. So we want to get into it. We want to ask you, since I kind of like to call you a little bit of my mentor type guy. We talked a little bit about Plaza about this, but for everybody else, tell us the plans for 2026. Where is Kyle Reedstrom
Yes.
headed?
Yes. Okay. So always got to shake things up, right? I feel like I had two options going into this next year, which was do the same thing as we did last year, just try to do a little better. And I think that's a little bit of a cop-out answer, or do some crazy stuff that makes you feel really uncomfortable. So
That's what we're looking
opted
for.
into the latter. And my career is kind of funky, right? I did 5 years on a team, then I started a team for the last 5 years, and I'm going into the third 5-year phase, if you will, if you want to break it down that way. So yeah, I'm an old dog, but we are partnering up with a operating system called Place with our real estate team, which we are doing the onboarding right now, and it is unbelievable. Like, you feel like you know what you're doing in your industry. Like it'd be like, like I feel like I was in elementary school as a team leader, and I thought I was doing all right. And then you get introduced to like Harvard out of elementary school, and you're like, oh, that's how they do things. And it's kind of one of those things, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So we've made that decision, and we're going through a bunch of a change up. Really what Place is a partnership. They provide all of our systems, and they provide all of our productivity rhythms. So we show up and do the work. We do the model. We commit to the things that need to get done that have been proven, and that gets us to our results. And a lot more intense things, specific examples, like I'm running a P&L. I have a fractional CFO with this, and I have a P&L like I've never seen before. I'm getting scrutinized on expenses, and like it's projection of financial models that are like, oh, as business owners, we should probably do this stuff. But I think a lot of people just kind of bootstrap business until you get it uncomfortable enough, not maybe achieving the results you want, or not scaling at the level you want. And one thing that's been really convicting, I would ask you guys this too, like, how long are we as entrepreneurs going to be addicted to job income versus becoming business owners that collect business income? Convicting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, like, we're all hard workers. Like, going and doing the flip, Joseph, is like, you'll do that in your sleep. It's fun, but really is the next level of leadership for you to like lead that and run behind the scenes and not be in the job as much as being the leader, almost the board member. That's a hard switch to make. So
Yeah, because you've been producing for so long, and you've been not to butter you up, you've been a high producer for a long time. So for sure, I mean, that's got to be tough here. So you got the first person that brought this Place system, or that I've seen, it was Eric Hatch, right?
yeah, Eric made some connections there. My big exposure to Place was through Josh Jaster, who's a friend and peer in the real estate space. He runs a team very similar to ours. Our teams know each other really well. So he's really where I dug into it.
So you came from Eric Hatch's deal. You kind of learned his deal. You joined Real, which started from him as well. Now you're going through Place, which may or may not have learned from him.
Yeah.
In a weird roundabout way, are you essentially to kind of sit and do what he's doing, like where he is now not running a day-to-day team anymore? He's off doing what he does. I mean, is that like what you are hoping to accomplish?
Yeah,
in a weird way.
It's interesting. Like I don't mind the comparison because there's very few real estate agents. So right, like that's my primary role, right? We have a management company in short-term rental space, love to invest, but 80-90% of what I do is be a real estate team leader, real estate agent. I can name on one hand how many real estate agents have made the jump into true just they own a real estate team that they're not doing deals in. Like it's almost like you success your way into a corner. Like you're so good at what you do, and it's not to say arrogantly, it's just time on task. You get good at what you're going to do and spend time on, that you can't leave it. You don't let it go. And guess what? Real estate agents, they don't. They just do it till they die or they retire,
Yeah.
Or they get fed up and they quit and they flip the switch off. That's not a good business plan. Like, what's your future look like? What's your next 5 years? Do they look the same as the last? Should they? Like, I think we're called to grow. I think we're called to, like, be uncomfortable. So here we are, man.
What are some of the things that Place is having you specifically that's uncomfortable for you? Things that you haven't quite done to the level that you're doing right now?
Yeah. So tech. Heavily, like, real estate's generally kind of been in the Stone Ages. They're always kind of lagging. Heavy application of tech. Heavy application of using technology to communicate, but keeping the authenticity in that. Heavy accountability through tech. AI is keeping us accountable on every angle. So really, it's just using technology, which it should be used for, to elevate your service. So now, like, our people are being treated and getting more of us more often because tech accountability. So like they've invested. So like the story with Place is crazy. Place is a pre-IPO company. They're trying to go public in 2-3 years. So they are a high growth startup is what they call themselves, and they are acquiring businesses. So they've just been buying tech companies. Like the most recent one is Remine. Amazing, like, to find off-market properties or people that are interested that you should be talking to. Expired listings, this data all in one place. Boom, you can reach out to them, like right at your fingertips. It's like you're only as good as the tools you have. Mm-hmm. So we didn't even know what tools we didn't have.
I'm so anxious to see that put in use because this is something that me and Ben have kind of talked about before. With AI exploding like it is, we hear that all the time. Well, we should be doing more AI. We should be doing more. And we go, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know how to utilize all that data and all that information. So, I mean, this is basically exactly like a step-by-step plan of kind of what we've talked about here.
Yes.
So I don't know. You don't have to share too much here, but you got done talking about like they're buying up companies. Are they going to be positioned in with your company as well, or you just pay them a monthly fee? What is that?
Great question.
How do you guys combine?
The reason it was such a big move, big commitment, it would be one thing if I was like signing up for a subscription or signing up for a coach or mentor. No, they're 50-50 partners in my business.
Wow, that's
Really?
huge.
Aggressive partnership ask, but aggressive value proposition they provide. So that, so I am now, it's almost feels like a sale event for Midwest Invest, but really it's like we just strapped a rocket ship to our, F-150, and that's what I would ask to anybody in their industry. Like, who is the person that's doing what you're doing 5 levels ahead of where you're at? Because you should be tugging. I mean, I give you a lot of credit on that, Joseph. Like, I've always seen that in you, where you've sought out mentorship and you've asked good questions and you've like reached out. The way we connected was like, hey, I see what you're up to. I just want to connect. Would you ever take time? I'm like, heck yeah. So all of us have to ask that question, like, who's that person 5-10 years ahead of you that has done what you've done, They've troubleshooted the same problems that you're coming into. And like a lot of times they've created a business or an opportunity to like pull you along faster or get you into tech or get you into the tools that are you going to wait 5 years to discover yourself? Or, oh my gosh, this changes everything. Because we're doing the onboarding right now. And I'm telling you, every morning, me and my guys are like, wow, we haven't been doing that. Never would have known that. Like everything's changing and it feels like it's stuff that's taken us to the next level. So yeah.
I love what you talked about. Partnering with these guys allows you to go into a little bit more of the leadership role necessarily than the day-to-day guy, right? Of you having to be committed to pushing the sales 24/7. You got to do, 100 deals or whatever. And it's like, in a way, it feels like you're taking a lot of stuff off your back, basically. You talk about a 50-50 value partnership. I mean, I'm excited to see how this goes. In a really selfish way, it kind of feels like you're like taking the first plunge into this thing. And I'm like, man, if Kyle goes crazy, like maybe I'm interested now.
Yeah. Well, here's a crazy thing too. I've always ran really lean, and it's probably like some Midwest hold on to things too tight. One of the big pushes they're calling for is like our size of real estate team. They have an entire system for operations team. So like we're in productivity team. They're like, we have an entire rhythm like model for your operators, like your admin, what they're supposed to be doing to support you and the team. There's like a whole scorecard. There's a whole rhythm weekly. There's metrics they have to hit. There's like 5 functions that they're supposed to be getting better at. And it's like, my onboarding person is like, you don't have any of that. So that's you. And now I'm realizing, oh, that's the stuff that I need to move out of so I can get into the stuff that's going to take us up, So it's that. Small business is hard because you're wearing all the hats. So when are you going to rip off the Band-Aid and like move into that? Well, you have to grow in revenue and people to get to like wear more specialized hats. And it's like, okay. So honestly, I think I was telling you at lunch, Joseph, 2 things I could have done: shrink, gone down to be like real estate cowboy, run around with maybe a assistant or someone helping, or grow. I was in that weird spot. So here we go.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
It's time. 2026 is your year here. So you talked about you are wearing a lot of hats. Obviously, you're taking one of them off, partnering with Place here. So what do you see yourself moving into on like the actual investment side of things for 2026? I know you guys are big on like the short-term stuff. You got, I think I maybe say you got a 9-plex or something like that as well. Yeah. What are some things on that side that are like really Fargo specific that you're like, we also want to get more into these? Like what's working for Kyle REEDSTROM right now?
Yeah. So that's really fun. What we've done with investing in real estate is we've gone total team approach. So it used to just be me buying a single family house and having it managed, right? Now in 2024, we bought a 20-plex and a 12-plex, and we renovated the entire things and we furnished the entire things. And now we specifically cater to traveling nurses. If we don't have a nurse in there within 60 days, usually we go on Airbnb, and then we're still looking for a nurse because we only allow bookings out 45 days or so. So we've had really a lot of success in finding that and getting those filled. And it's actually, the idea is create kind of a higher level investment property, cater to a different clientele. The NOI goes up, and we create kind of a really valuable building, whether we keep it or sell it.
So that short term compared to like a long term, like you talked about, you're always buying single families. But even if you bought that 20-plex and the other plex, you're making more money with the short term than you are if you would have just renovated and stuck all long term tenants in there. Like your month to month cash flow is higher.
Yes. And midterm is really the sweet spot because it's less volatile than short term. Short term people don't like because it seems innately risky to just be like, oh, good month, bad month. Midterm is like 3-month, extend into 7-month. And then sometimes we get a little turnover. So it's like, that's really our sweet spot. That's what we go for. However, we have had it where we've turned one unit into a long-term because we got the right person that wanted a long-term. So we have that. When it's furnished, we don't have that as much, but we'll find a long-term every now and then. We go short-term. Mainly the focus is midterm. And to answer your question, we want to do more of that. And I do want to educate people on the fact that we have open units very commonly that are furnished and ready to go, turn the key, hotel style, but they have kitchens and garages and all sorts of stuff, amenities that hotels don't have. So agents, people that are moving to the area, people that are building a house and need 6 months, like we want to be able to cater to those people with some of our units too. Like come stay, short, weird lease times, 45 days. We get 99 day lease. We'll sign that. You know, we're open to that stuff. Whereas for other property managers or investors, they're kind of, that doesn't fit their tenant box. Like they want 12-month leases. They want June 1st lease dates. Like we're trying to play the other game.
Well, normally who wants that is the banks.
Yeah,
That's normally who I'm
The
getting asked
bank-
those questions.
I'm working on a lot of bankers with our model and being like, I'm showing them data is the thing that banks like, right? So now we have a couple years where we're building up of like, hey, here's what you got.
When you say we, are these all agents that are partnered with you that are already within your brokerage? They're partnering with you on these flips or long-term, short-term rentals, or do you have other external partners that you're working with?
Yeah. The structure on this is really cool. I mean, for investors, I'm kind of an open book on it. So we went and found these deals. When I say we, I'm thinking we have we kind of have an operating team. Mm-hmm. We call that MTR, operating partners. So that exists with a guy that's really in the syndication and fundraising world in Denver. He's a client of mine, someone I got to know really well for the last 10 years. Me, who's kind of the local real estate guy, and then our management team, Guardian Property Management, and their team, they all are very heavily involved. So like all of us are kind of like analyzing, and then we found something. Then we went and said, hey, we're open to partnering, raising money, using other people's money. So the cool part is like we don't have any money into these deals other than we can invest on the limited partner side, not just the general partner side. So we made a 70-30 ownership split for our operating team to have 30 and 70% to be for investors. The vision was renovate it, furnish it, get it leased up, create higher value. Our investors, we found some investors that liked the vision, put a bunch of money in. We did all the hustle. So that's kind of the, I mean, it's very common. It's not novel that I'm coming up with it, but it's like our version of
the MTRR, is that what you said? Mm-hmm. So you guys are the 30% ownership.
Yes.
The 70% is open to, but you had to have those investors beforehand before you could buy the buildings and renovate all that stuff. Okay. So you're not looking for more partners. You are looking for more partners.
Well, the way that those worked is we found the deal, pitched the deal, found the investors.
Okay.
So we didn't know if we were going to get the deal. We'd kind of put ourselves in that. But like they always say in the real estate concept, right? If you find the deal, the money shows up.
Always.
So like that's what we felt like we found. We were able to kind of get some people that were watching it. We were able to negotiate it, lock it down, and then we were able to.
So you ran the job site as well then at the renovations, like that was part of you own it 30% is you got to do all the work that comes behind it.
Yep.
All the management that comes behind it. You guys don't take a fee for that. You just take that as part of your ownership stake.
We take a smaller fee as part of that. That was all kind of negotiated. But that's the cool part is the management side. They still need to take an operational monthly, but it's much less than it would be if they're just not in the ownership group. So there's a value add for an investor there, everybody's feet to the fire. If I was an investor, which I am in both of the deals, I'm on both sides. With my investor hat on, I definitely want the management feeling like they own the place, right? That's the model everybody uses in town. It's the best investors have managers and operators that are like, they feel like they own it, even if it's a small sliver. So yeah, that's kind of, it's not necessarily totally pro bono for management fee, which would be nice, but it's less.
Joseph and I have talked about it before. Like so many people, even if they're not a real estate agent, I don't know about this deal in specific, if you found it because of your involvement in real estate or if it was something that anyone off the street could have found. But for someone who's wanting to get into real estate, what are ways that they can actually do that without being an actual real estate agent?
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing is I feel like, I mean, you guys have had this happen where people ask like, I want to get into real estate. Should I get my license? And I've seen some of the best investors leverage real estate agents, not become one. So like use them for their knowledge. So it's almost the idea of like, they're the experts, like trust the experts. Like I shouldn't be performing surgery on my own ankle like the expert should, versus I'm going to kind of learn how to DIY this, which is very much a mindset of like investors, you know? So I think for new agents or new people that are looking to get into investments, like you said, Ben, I think you got to really take inventory. Like, do you want active income from being a real estate agent? Is that a thing? I think that's a really good idea because you get a lot of flexibility and you have a limitless income ceiling. So like I'm a big proponent of young professionals raising their income ceiling. I ran a podcast for 2 years. The biggest problem we ran into, I've told you this, Joseph, we had great stuff. We had great opportunities. Nobody had any cash. W-2 incomes. A little bit saved, $300, $500 a month they were saving. You can't invest. You can't multiply resources when you don't have any resources. Every month is just eating them all up. So like active income, yes, become one. If you're doing it because you want to get more investments, you're going to need capital and you're going to need capital. You know, like you don't have your license you don't need your license to find more deals. Like somebody could come that has capital and resource right now and say, Kyle, I'd put 4 duplexes, off-market duplexes in front of them like right now that just came across the desk yesterday. So it's like, there's no shortage of that once you talk to the right people. The shortage is nobody has the funds to do it. So like, I'm a big proponent of like, get into it, change into go on full on real estate. Why am I a proponent of that? Because that's what I did. Yeah. I left engineering and jumped full in, and it's like, okay, I got to make money doing this, and I want to invest.
Why didn't you just, like so many people do, you obviously know how to manage your money and put some money aside more than just a couple $100 a month. Why didn't you just take X amount of dollars and just throw it in the stock market, not have to think about it, not have to worry about tenants and leases? Why is it worth it to you?
That's great, man. I think I have my best man in my wedding is an Edward Jones guy. And we go toe to toe on like,
I have a buddy just like that. That's why I asked the question. Yeah. I'm going to send this to him. So
stock market versus real estate. And what we've settled on is the word and. I do both. Okay. And I think I was kind of heavy on one side for a while. But like the thing is about real estate, like let's hate on real estate for a hot minute. What's bad about real estate? Like you just mentioned a bunch of them. Liquidity sucks in real estate. I know a lot of people that are very asset rich and cash poor that are real estate people. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of stock market junkies that have a lot of capital that they can use at any moment, whether they're borrowing it from against their securities or whatever. So it's like, I think we got to do both.
Okay.
That's kind of what, but some people say if you're building 2 bridges, it takes you twice as long to get to the other side, right? Like, so I don't know. I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah, we're still learning as we go here. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So if you were going to say in the next 10 years, obviously you got done saying this year, how old are you? Do you mind me?
36.
36?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was telling Ben, I was like, I think it's 34, 35, somewhere in there. 36.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're taking a huge step this year. You're obviously building the wealth side of things, getting some longer term real estate assets. At what point do you see yourself, or do you hope to be like, I'm done?
Yeah.
I've worked.
Yeah.
I can step back. I only bring this up because, I guess I don't know Eric Hatch, but you had mentioned he might be taking some sort of time off or something this year. And I look at Ben and I go, I think that's kind of the dream for everybody, to just be like, I've just done. I can just do whatever I want.
Yes.
What does that look like for you?
This is great. I think I have a lot of meetings with young people that are like, hey, I'm curious about real estate. My name comes up, we sit down. And everybody says what I said when I was 24, which is like financially free by 30, financially free by 35, whatever that date is, which is an amazing thing. I think what I was doing a lot, and this is what I always ask to take inventory of, are you running away from something or running towards something? So as an engineer, I was running away from being an engineer. I hated it. It was not a good environment for me. It wasn't fine. It wasn't providing any value in my life. I didn't feel like I was doing anything purposeful, fulfilling. So I was just like, as soon as I can shut this pain off, that's what that is for me. So like, that's not actually, pain is a good motivator, but it's not like the purest motivator in my opinion. Like running towards financial freedom for the reason of options, time with loved ones, impact, being able to hit giving goals. And that's why I would say to you, I'm never going to shut it off. And I think there's a beauty in like, my wife and I hit a huge goal this year in June. We bought a place in Big Sky, Montana, a place we love. Do we want to spend Thanksgiving to St. Patrick's Day in Montana? Yes, that will happen. That's going to happen sooner rather than later. Do we want to go to, over our anniversary to Rosemary Beach, Florida, where we love and our kids love playing on the beach for like a month instead of a week? Yeah, we're going to start doing that. But the goals keep going up because, and I always say like, don't move the goalpost, but like there's just more cups to fill. Specifically like this move to place, I got a bunch of guys that are working their tails off that need to get to the next level and then the next level and the next level. And I got to be there for that. Like I want to be there to make it faster and better for them. I think of like one of our favorite things we support is Unseen Ministries, fighting human trafficking. Like there's an endless need. So like who's going to step in and do the work and make the generous gifts? I follow a bunch of guys that make gifts that write checks for as much money as I make in a year to support that cause. So like, I got to get started in that. I'm not finished till I hit that level for sure. Right. So like that mixed with options in your time. And I think there's a sweet spot. And like, here's the thing, like Ben, Joseph, you guys are out there, healthy bodies, healthy minds, opportunity like crazy. We are called, we should carry a conviction and a responsibility to work like crazy. Work smart, right? Like we don't want to be working 80 hours and sacrificing relationships and health and all these things, but like to be focused and efficient because you can. And like, that's a pretty good fire. Like that's jet fuel, right? Like we gotta do more. You gotta do more next year. You gotta do more next year. We gotta do more next year.
Yeah.
And it's not for you. It's not for me,
I love that. We interviewed Terry Brandt last week. Are you familiar with
Terry? I saw you guys did that.
Yeah. And he's, I don't know how old he is, in his 50s, 60s. And just like the motivation, he's running the Offit Foundation. And it's just like, that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be that age.
And have that
fire.
have
that fire. Like, I don't want to be that crippled 60-year-old man just like, put it. Like, I love that motivation. And hearing you talk about it, saying like, I never really want to retire. Like, I want to just keep doing that. It's cool to hear.
Yeah.
I was laughing as you said, I want to, some guys are donating like your salary. He was sharing some numbers that are astronomical. You can't fathom. And these guys can't give it away fast enough. And I was like, damn, that's just next level, you know? So
yes, like we have a bigger call, like eyes wide open on that deal. I've been in those rooms and watched that money get transferred, and it feels like they're buying a $10 hamburger, and I go, okay, I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, a little bit.
So if there's someone I'm 24, so if there's someone who I graduated college a few years ago, there's someone who's at their job, they're an engineer, whatever they're doing, and they don't feel that fire. Is it something that they should just look for in a different career right away? Or how do you navigate trying to figure out how to find that fire that you have? Because I don't think a lot of people have that fire.
That's good. And I know a lot of people that get stuck in like, I haven't found that, and they're searching for it. Like it's not a thing that you find, like it kind of finds you, and that finds you through curiosity. I love talking about this topic, Ben, and I want to speak specifically to anybody that is exactly in the situation Ben just described. Maybe you just got out of college, you're in your first. Nobody that's a big high performer or has high ambitions likes to be at entry level anything. So like, even if you're in the best career, you don't like being at the bottom of the totem pole. So you work your tail off to get out of that, right? But there's people listening that are in that. I was in that. I was in a cubicle in a basement in Bismarck with a micromanaging boss that was like creeping over my shoulder looking at my computer work while I didn't know. Like, it was a bad situation that I was like, this can't be it. I went to school for this. But what did I do? So my first advice is to be strategic. Like, I think there's a lot of merit to like jumping and just building your parachute on the way down. But like, I also think there's a lot of strategy to planning. I knew I had a salary coming in and I had time because I was not interested in doing engineer work during, maybe don't tell my boss, but I was doing a lot of reading and listening to books and journaling in my cubicle because I knew I had time. If I'm not going to do this, what am I going to do? So then I wrote down, I remember writing the big phrase in the top of my journal. I said, follow the pilot lights of passion. And there was little things I was curious about that I was interested in. And one of them happened to be real estate. There was many others. And so I said, like, just blow a little wind, a little breath on that flame today. So like, that's what my biggest advice would be. Like, don't go crazy and go jump into something. You don't even know what you want. Create a clear vision. Like, you got to have a vision that you're going to chase. That's why these people have the fire at their age. It's because they're still chasing a huge vision. So like, you got to find your first vision. So my first little breath of flame on that was I walked into Barnes & Noble in Bismarck at 4:00, left work early, went to the book section. What book did I stumble across? Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Nice.
like many.
Classic.
Cranked that thing open, didn't stop reading until I was over, and everything changed. And I had thought differently. And then every day I started running fake spreadsheets on, you guessed it, 20 plexes and 15 plexes. And it's like, I go back and look at some of those today and it's like, dude, I was faking it till I made it. And so like, I was just blowing more wind on that pilot light. And eventually that one caught fire for me to the point where it was like burning. I was excited for the first time in a while. That's what you got to have. Like something you're just jacked about. And it could have been, it wasn't that real estate was cool. It could have been picking rock in a farm field, but if it created the result that I wanted, I would have done it. So like, I think a lot of people get bent out of shape of like, well, that sounds boring. Like, I know guys that run junk removal businesses that are jacked out of their mind because they have big plans, It's like, don't get bent out of shape on what it is. And then I do say this, no matter what thing you do, you should have a vision to be in business for yourself or partner. Like, business has created by far the most wealth ever. And very close to that, or like maybe it's number 1 and 2 is real estate. So like, real estate and business should be part of any equation in some form. But like, where in that you fall, I don't know. Like, just follow those little
Thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
I like that.
We appreciate the inspiration, Kyle, here. We want to kind of end it on a fun note here. I don't know if you've seen our short form videos we do. We do a lot of fun like bits of ranking and would you rather this or that. So we actually have one for you.
Right.
We want to give it to you here. So the question is, we want you to rank these Fargo investments. It's 1 through 5, but you don't know what comes next. So I'm going to give you a business. You have to rank it 1 through 5. And then I'm going to give you 5 in a row and you have to rank them all. So you got to think about these when I give one to you. If you go, oh, that's really good, and you put it at 1.
Oh, I don't get to know the future ones.
You don't get to know the future ones.
I got to put them in their slots before, 1 being the best.
Yep, 1 being the best,
so like
5 being the
if I hear
worst.
like, crisp and green, big crisp and green guy, I might put that number 1, but there could be something better.
There could be something better.
And it's what you would want to invest in, right? It's kind of how we would rank.
Yep, what you'd want to invest
you personally.
in. So,
Okay.
You ready? So I'm gonna read it here just so we'll short form later. Kyle, rank these Fargo investments, but you don't know what comes next. First one up, a car wash.
Car wash. Automated. There's a lot. It's saturated in Fargo. I'm going to say I would have liked it, but I'm going to put it at a 3, safe first play, because I think it's a little saturated. You didn't say where it was, but hey. No, or is it in Fargo?
In Fargo, yep.
Okay, yeah. So 3.
He's going number 3. Okay.
3.
How about investing into an apartment building?
Feels a little saturated as well, but I mean, I like what I can do with an apartment building. I'm gonna put that at 2.
Put that at 2. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
How about investing into a hotel in Fargo?
Hotel. I play that game a little bit in hospitality. However, I feel like it's a little bit of my competition, so I'm gonna go 4 on that.
Now he's pinned himself.
got
Now he's pinned
I've got
himself.
the best and the worst.
Okay,
All right, man.
how about opening a Quick Star gas station?
Oh, I'm a big Quick Star fan. Here's the only thing I don't like about, no. Quick Stars, they got their operations down. Clean bathrooms, good lighting. I ain't putting that at 5. That's number 1, man.
Number 1.
Tell me what the
Now he's pinned
gold
himself.
nugget is.
Number 5, opening a real estate brokerage. He got him. He got him.
I think I might have said 5
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if I'd have got that first.
Whatever it was. Well, we appreciate you coming on today, Kyle. Thanks for all the inspiration. And yeah, hopefully we'll have you back on sometime. So.
Yeah, you guys
Thanks,
are
Kyle.
awesome.